sangat amat jelas Blacklist International through the lower bracket. Dari lower bracket setelah mereka ditendang oleh teman-teman dari BTK, ternyata mereka mampu untuk memberikan shock terapi kepada teman-teman lainnya di lower bracket dengan hanya memberikan 1 poin kepada Onyx Esports dari Indonesia dan juga BTK ketika di final lower bracket. Sisanya mereka menang 3-0 dari Blacklist International. Sisanya juga dari Onyx PH. Lihat bagaimana mereka through the upper bracket 3-0. That's a perfect game untuk Onyx PH, dan hanya ada satu tim yang bisa mencuri poin dari teman-teman Onyx PH, itu adalah Onyx Indonesia. Namun sayangnya balik lagi di lower bracket sudah dipulangkan oleh teman-teman dari Blacklist International.
Yes, benar banget.
Ini dia ya. Dua tim yang berada di babak grand final dan dua-duanya adalah tim yang udah berhasil mengalahkan tim-tim yang berasal dari Indonesia pula. Onyx menurunkan Onyx Esports, lalu Blacklist udah memulangkan juga Rarki. Sementara dari Blacklist sendiri udah memulangkan juga Onyx kemarin. Memang kita korban ini, tapi nggak apa-apa. Mau nggak mau, ini dia. Ini adalah sebuah kompetisi. Ada yang menang, ada yang kalah. Tapi line up-nya yang langsung diturunkan oleh Onyx PH adalah Hatred, Delarski, Marki, Kairi, dan juga Baloiski.
Dan aku tersentuh banget sih. Tadi tuh aku agak sedikit berkaca-kaca.
Sedih aku tadi,
pas Delar ya?
Iya, pas Delar. Soalnya gini, fun fact buat teman-teman, di mana Delar ini bisa dibilang kayak sosok Drian.
Iya.
Yang dia bahkan sampai sekarang tuh jadi the last member dari Onyx PH tuh yang benar-benar kayak dia tuh masih konsisten bermain. Bahkan dulu kan Grid atau Baloiski yang sekarang jadi roamer itu kan dulu sebelumnya mid laner. Jadi ada sedikit perpindahan dan bahkan mungkin cekcok yang terjadi sebelumnya. Bahkan kalau misalkan mengingat dari Kairi sendiri di tim sebelumnya, yaitu adalah Blacklist International di MPL Filipina season yang ke-6, itu adalah masa terakhir juga di mana Oh My Venus dan juga Wise berada di Onyx PH.
Oke, berpindah.
Makanya tadi pertukaran ada ceritanya.
Ada ceritanya.
Jadi di mana kayak dua orang itu ditukar dengan seorang Kairi, dan aku sampai nanya ke Zay siapa yang diuntungkan dalam pertukaran ini. Ini masih ditunggu untuk siapa yang mengangkat piala. Itulah yang mereka yang diuntungkan untuk saat ini.
Ini tapi jujur emang ada perbedaan yang sangat signifikan dari teman-teman Onyx PH maupun dari teman-teman Blacklist International. Dari 5 membernya, ini semua pemain insting. Mereka itu bermain bukan kayak yang mereka pakai template. Mereka cheese-strat ada banyak, bahkan cheese-stratnya mereka. Tapi mereka punya insting yang bahkan mungkin di luar nalar dari para pemain biasa. Dan inilah dia Blacklist International dengan Haji Edward Oheb Wise dan juga Oh My Venus. Gimana kita tahu Oheb sebagai gold laner yang benar-benar dia ini menjadi salah satu kunci juga bagi teman-teman dari Blacklist International. Dan ini adalah contoh dari kedisiplinan atau bahkan gameplay logika.
Dan bahkan
itu perbedaannya. Tadi yang satu insting, yang satu logika.
Yes, dan bahkan Haji ini sendiri dari zamannya dulu masih dimain Omega kalau nggak salah ya.
Iya.
Ya udah zamannya di Omega itu juga dia emang udah bersinar. Si Haji Z ini, kalau gue tetap walaupun Haji tuh lidah gue tuh kayak
ada Z-nya belakang.
Ada Z-nya karena mungkin
sama kayak ini, kayak lu baca Haze, sebenarnya dalam hati lu Yeli Haze kan?
Iya, kau tahu.
Ya udah, gitu aja.
Bahkan kalau misalnya ngelihat Delarski, malah Delarskinya itu skinya gue jarang.
Iya, Delar
Karena
pasti Delar
dari
dulu.
Dan tentunya ini yang tadi dibilang sama Zeiss, untuk mengantisipasi gameplay dari seorang Filipina itu sulit karena bukan hanya dengan template yang mereka mainkan, ya kan? Tapi banyak banget metode yang benar-benar membuat mereka itu sulit banget dibaca. Dan itu head-to-head ya, silakan Profesor.
Nah, inilah dia untuk dari history atau sejarah. Nah, kita mungkin
final ya.
Selalu ya, aku selalu bilang ya bahwa kalau ngomongin sejarah itu kita nggak perlu malu. Dikarenakan untuk membuat sejarah itu emang susah, dan terbukti lihat bagaimana teman-teman dari Blacklist International menumbangkan 4-1 ketika berada di grand final dari MPL Filipina season yang ke-8. Walaupun secara statistik kita bisa bilang bahwa ada 3 aspek yang dimenangkan oleh teman-teman dari Onyx PH, tapi untuk saat ini adalah data untuk M3. Nah, makanya yang paling terbaru, yang paling terupdate, apalagi mengingat dari Blacklist International yang bahkan mereka itu lumayan cukup tough game melawan teman-teman dari BTK. Sementara kebalikannya kayak Onyx PH itu kayak wow, lancar banget Pak Pulung.
Lancar jaya nih perjalanan, udah kayak tol pagi-pagi atau siang-siang hari. Masih kosong tuh Pak.
Pagi-pagi siang-siang hari.
Dan ini dia key to victory. Onyx PH perfect the split. Use objective as bait. Disrupt Oheb. Prioritize counter initiation comp. Pak Pulung artinya
sempurna. Woi,
bener ya, itu terus Pak Pulung. Soalnya satu lagi KP nanti.
Bener. Use objective pancingan. Mantap. Sebagai Ohebnya gangguin, kelarin hidupnya.
Nice.
Hero-heronya kelarin.
Yang terakhir,
prioritize counter initiation com. KB yang bisa ngejelasin ini.
Counter initiation. Jadi counter initiation tuh misalkan gini.
Dibuka, itu ada counternya.
Gini. Posisinya misalkan lagi menang, blacklist.
Okay.
Jadi ditabrak tulis satu-satu gitu.
Benar.
Sebentar Profesor ya. Tapi
Yeah.
itu victory blacklist internasional. Ada avoid overextending. Protect hygiene. Beware. Run.
Standing atau bahkan team fight yang jangka panjang, benar-benar jangka panjang. Walaupun sebenarnya blacklist ini punya healer kan rata-rata untuk metodenya, tapi mereka malah dituntut untuk menghindari. Kenapa? Karena Onyx PH itu yang paling pinter untuk memainkan culik-menculik. Dan inilah dia player head to headnya secara jungler. Sama banget mengingat dari pertemuan sebelumnya ketika tapi untuk Kairi, GPM dan bahkan dari kill
Benar-benar unggul ya, Pak.
Beda
genre.
Yang satu ibarat musik, yang satu hardcore, yang satu melo.
Oh, bukan.
Jadi agak beda temponya. Iya. Lo cuma yang satu hardcore kenceng.
Kairi bisa kita bilang kekencor. Ini multi jungler lainnya itu tidak bukan dengan bermain individu.
Ini yang bisa kita petik ya, bagaimanapun statistik yang kalian dapatkan, yang nantinya berpengaruh adalah hasil di lapangan gitu loh.
Yes.
Jadi walaupun kalian itu mungkin ketika mendapat 100.000 hard nggak bakal digunakan gitu loh.
Misalnya gini, dengan UN 910 ya kan, dia yang akan mendapatkan pekerjaan lebih.
dulu biasa itu gara-gara ngeliat Filipina. So secara dari National benar-benar megang voting banyak banget. Mungkin dikarenakan jadi ketika berada di lower break yang sempat mungkin apa ya, ngomongin soal banning phase. Aku juga sempat denger sih Oji yang tadi sempat ngomongin Beatrix dan segala macam kan yang di ban. Untuk dari Onyx Filipina, kayaknya ada 3 hero yang menurut aku patut untuk di-ban terlebih dahulu.
Apa itu?
Yaitu adalah Natalia, Selena, Esmeralda dan Natalia. Urutan ya. Kita ngomongin urutan.
Ya.
Yang
Tiernya lah ya.
Yes. Kalau misalkan untuk Onyx Filipina ini, kita melihat bagaimana cara mereka untuk untuk memainkan dari segi split push, dan bahkan kalau dari Blacklist International 3 hero terlebih dahulu yang mungkin ingin aku amankan itu
recognizing them. And I do love the recognition for both teams, though.
Yeah. They're very good friends, but on the battlefield, if you're fighting for the difference between 300 and, if I'm not mistaken, 120K,
that's right.
It's gotta matter, right? You really have to play your best. You gotta put your best foot forward.
For sure.
And as we wait for the draft here, I can only imagine the nerves, the silence here in the crowd, the tension at Suntech.
It's building, man. It's building, and it's already at its peak already. Now, remember, guys, what happened during MPL PH Season 8? Onyx Philippines dominated the upper brackets. Blacklist was sent early on to the lower brackets. It seems like it can be repeat, or it might be revenge from Onyx PH. Imagine if Onyx PH just takes down Blacklist 4-0. The storylines are set. It's time to get into the drafts.
Oh my god. Just the thought of it just makes me chill, right? If you said it will be a 4-0, I'm pretty sure that will not be the case, right? This is a very close matchup. But then again, if that is actually true, that will mean that the 0-13 coach from MPL Season 7 will end up in the world stage with a 13-0 in the upper bracket final, in the upper bracket of the World Championship. That is going to be crazy.
That is if it were to be the twist of the decade right now.
That will be the twist of the decade.
We're opening up MLBB Esports with the 2021 World Championships on a sweep. I don't think so. Not going to happen. Into the draft we go. Game number 1, Blacklist International on the play. Onyx PH answering back. Hayabusa, Ling, and Selena taken out by Blacklist. Onyx PH, they take out the Estes, the Aldous, and the Eve. Very, very quick responses.
And Blacklist International, knowing this team, it's either the Matrix or the Clint, or will they actually read through what Onyx PH wants to have, which is almost always the Farsa. And knowing that both marksmen, both Matrix as well as Clint, are countered by Farsa, maybe Blacklist International will actually secure that. So I'm only guessing like the free heroes here might be the choice for Blacklist International. It is indeed the Farsa.
Yeah, the Farsa is key to the victory here. Remember how many times this has been picked up. Imagine Blacklist right now, Haji still sitting at an 80% win rate with Haji on that Farsa. On the Philippines though, they have the chance to answer back. Delarski, will he go for that Yuzong? Remember, every time someone picks up a Farsa, the Yuzong is right there, ready to go. It is actually going to be the Matilda first, and Onyx PH, do they want to go for the Esmeralda here or that Yuzong?
They still have the Paquito as well as one of their heroes that they really pick up against that, but it is true. Yeah, Yuzong, a hero that Delarski actually played. I'm not looking at Onyx Philippines actually, they're not that kind of team, and ooh! Hatred, okay.
I think
really
they're
pumped up.
They're already on their way. He's looking over to the other side, and they snuck away. They stole Oheb's Matrix.
But then again, you still have Clint, right? So, knowing Blacklist International, they will pick that up. They also have the Paquito, and now the Yisun Shin. Ooh, it's a totally different route this time.
Yisun Shin and the Rafaela coming in for the side of Blacklist International. I love this pick already. Yisun Shin has been a very good pick for this team's side. I think sitting still at a very high win rate, maybe possibly still 100% right now.
Yep, and the Yisun Shin is going to be key to
opening up the map.
Yes, and accomplishing one of their main keys to victory is not allowing the wraparound. You need that vision. You need the Mount Shocker.
Yep. Now, Onyx Philippines, we know them as really assassin users. Definitely for Kyrie, you want to use something like a Lancelot for sure. You know it's coming. And you know it's coming, and Mirko is really happy about this.
I am happy about this. You know, Lancelot, one of my favorite heroes in the game, especially when I see Kyrie or Albert playing it. And now we're going to get treated once more here. But we have to take a look. Right now, Onyx Philippines, with the Lancelot pick, they take away that Phobius. Very, very good. You do not want to go up against that right now. Blacklist, though, they might just go for the Yuzong ban. Was about to say that, but now Onyx Philippines, do they want to let that Paquito go? It has went through the first phase, but I don't think it's going to survive the second here, especially considering Onyx Philippines, I think they're going to target Edward.
Yeah, they definitely will. Maybe then get something like a Uranus.
Or
Clint.
Clint.
Yeah, that's true. The benefit of Onyx PH is that they will have the last pick. However, this Matilda pick from Onyx PH almost reveals their hand. And usually, you go for
ones who went undefeated. So, I guess...
Space. Now, it's the Barrett's band, making sure that this Lancelot will have a great game. Onyx PH, as well as Blacklist International, seems to be targeting all of these X-Lane heroes.
Absolutely. Let's see. Blacklist International with the ban right now. What do they want to take away here? With the Barretts that will actually signify that on the Philippines, they might be open to pick the Paquito for themselves. Do Blacklist want to ban it out, or do they want to go for something else here? Let's say the Uranus ban.
Yeah, I think Uranus would be good.
Or the Lapu-Lapu?
Oh,
They won't.
Respect.
Marquis Harris.
No. I think Blacklist International are thinking that this Beatrix can be played in the mid lane as well. And Onyx PH have actually played that for Hatred. And guess what? They used it 3 times. They have not lost with it.
Well, Onyx Philippines, they have the chance to pick up the Paquito right now. I'm taking it away from Edward, but no. They pick up the Esmeralda. Again, another very good hero right now that can counter that Matilda. So picking it up for Onyx, it's good. Can dive the back line, can peel, and also very, very sustainable.
You still have Brody and Clint for Blacklist International, but you can also switch it around. Maybe pick up something like an Alice for themselves that they really love for OM, or maybe a Lunox so that they have ways to pierce through this Esmeralda. And Blacklist International are also considering this Uranus, a hero that is unfortunately not countered by the Esmeralda. In fact, some of the players would say that Uranus actually fares well against the Esmeralda.
On a macro sense, because if the Uranus isolates the Esmeralda, then you're winning on the map. The Uranus is basically a dud. The Uranus is a neutralizer. So let's see what Edward's going to be picking up here. They get OM's Clint, and oh, there it is! The dynamics, the relationship we just talked about. Blacklist, they want to counter, they want to neutralize and keep away Dilarski on that Esmeralda. But one more pick. They need to give something to Marquis here. What might it be?
Honestly, I'm really feeling that Lunox. I feel like the Lunox can bring a lot, especially considering that they are going up against a Uranus. They need some sort of burst here. And let's see what it is. No, they will go for Lilia. So I was right about the burst, not about the hero. Lilia picked up for Marquis, adding a little bit more sustain as well.
Same for the Uranus. This is a squishy composition for the side of Blacklist International, and they don't have the best sustain as well, apart from the fact that Rafaela has heal. But of course, with the burst of the Lilia, it's almost impossible to out-sustain that. It's almost impossible to rely on your healings. That's probably why they picked it up. The question is, where will it go? Mid lane or gold lane?
Well, it is going to be the question here. Beatrix, very, very dominant laner. If he goes to the mid laner, will dominate that lane. Do they want to put this hero to suffocate the Clint, or just to get that mid pressure so that they can make the split happen in the early stages of the game? That is going to be the question that we need to see answered here in the game.
Between these two teams, it's Onyx who actually likes winning early, and Blacklist who's willing to trade that early game. But ladies and gentlemen, we're about to get into the match. Game number 1 upon us. These are the lineups. This is Blacklist International versus Onyx PH. Game 1 in a best of 7 for the World Championship.
I want to hear it. I want to see it. Break the code, or what time is it? Onyx time. But unfortunately, we are going to take a look at the drafts a little bit more. Let's talk about it even more here. I think I'm going to start it off with Blacklist draft, all right? For Blacklist draft itself, it is the typical Ube, I can kind of say, but a little bit different. It's refined here, all right? Because they have the winning side lanes with the Clint. They can get that pressure as well with Edward on that Uranus, but their core mechanic is still going to be that front to back. That's what's going to make them win these games.
So the thing that I see coming out from the side of Blacklist International is that they don't have the hard engage we normally see with Haji, for example, in the Grok or maybe on the Cho. There's really not a way to start the fight unless they do it with the Holy Baptism, right?
Yep, they can only get these catches. They don't have any real call as to where the fights happen. They have no way to pin down anybody from Onyx.
And if you're looking at Onyx Philippines, they can rely on this Matilda to start the fights with them. Curious to see which is the mid laner or the gold laner. Actually, I wasn't able to catch it because it was just a quick glimpse when we paused, but my guess is that they will put the Lilia against this Clint in the gold lane so that they will have a great lane, as Clint is generally a hero that will be a 50-50 matchup against the Beatrix.
The side of Clint, it's a trade kind of hero, right? You don't really want to go for these all-ins early on, and same goes for the Lilia. It's going to be really good. Lilia and Clint, this matchup will be heavily favored towards the side of Lilia because of the wave clear and that trade pressure.
Which means you're going to have Oh My Venus visit Clint. Yes. We've seen Oeb do this. We've seen him like breeze through the first 5 or 6 minutes, and then next thing you know, he's just chipping away at turrets.
Absolutely. So that's going to be the question here. what do Onyx Philippines want to respond that with, right? Blacklist, they are going to put Venus on that gold lane, just basically babysitting as usual for the Filipino sniper. But for Onyx PH, they have a lot of options here. They can go and try to do the same thing, help out Marky, or they can go to the bottom side as well, help out Delarski on the Esmeralda. Again, it's a winning lane going up against a Uranus, all right?
Exactly.
Uranus won't be able to do anything until he hits that level 4, and even then, it's going to be very easy for them to look for dives with the Lancelot and the Matilda.
Maybe if they can abuse that, that will be great because eventually the Uranus will have a better time macro-wise. Then again, for the side of Onyx Philippines, they want to engage. They can use the Falling Star when eventually in the mid game as well as the late game, and then of course rely on their wave clear for all of those split pushing or for macro mechanics coming up from the side of Onyx Philippines. So this is a very interesting dynamic. Both teams having straight up win conditions, and I think that this is the time where you say it's definitely a 50-50 between these two teams.
It's a spike. They have to be aware of that level 4 spike on the side of Onyx PH, but then Blacklist answers back with a more defensive role, because that's when the Mountain Shocker comes in. That's when they actually have their disengage tools come online. But just the same, you have to consider the Uranus is going to scale up as quickly. Maybe it should try to scale up faster than the Esmeralda so they can do that neutralization. They can do the isolation play. So yeah, it's all about timing. Onyx time, they definitely want to snowball. Blacklist, let's see how they're going to answer back. Here we go, back into the map.
All right, I gotta say this though, Onyx, they have just been, that catchphrase, that the tag is so catchy, man.
Yeah, I agree.
What time is this? Onyx time. I wouldn't be surprised if they have a watch sponsor later on for MPL Season 9.
Right, but Waloyski. Just some pokes coming out in the mid lane, and we know that Rafael as well as Farsa is so strong when it comes to like poking.
Just as we said it, man.
We were talking about this. The Lilia winning that lane matchup. First Blood brought to you by Razor. Wolf, you were saying?
Wow, yeah, it's just all about the pokes, but in top lane, they already have the big poke coming out, but Delarski.
Oh, a little too deep. Again, it's both teams playing off of different timings. They know that that was the original plan, so they're playing off of their pace. Tempo going over here to Onyx PH, but by a very small margin. Oh, my Venus looking low. Kyrie gets hit. Oh, he's going to be dashed through with a puncture. Pinned down with that Bolas, and there you go. Thorn Rose keeping him in.
Again, Onyx Philippines now with the winning lanes, it's going to be really good for them to look for plays on the map, and this is exactly what they need to keep on doing. Look at Delarski. He's basically taking all the resources, trying to force Wise to be uncomfortable in his own jungle, and Onyx Philippines, they can look for a fight here. Even though Kyrie has lost a lot of HP, they still have the resources, and there you go. Blacklist, they can't contest without the winning lanes.
Yep, 4 members here. Oh, up top, another one! Marky gives away his second death in 2 minutes.
This is insane. We spoke about this matchup, but I didn't expect it to be 2 solo kills in the first 2 minutes, man. This is going to be really good. Onyx Philippines are just going to have to capitalize to this constantly, but Blacklist, they need an answer quick.
No, they're making Oh My Venus very busy. It's like a very hectic day for Oh My Venus as he needed to kind of answer to the turtle fight, which wasn't really reset by Onyx Philippines. And then because of that movement, he didn't have the time to actually help Oheb, and there goes the second kill from Marky into the top lane.
Edward gonna spot him out. Retribution on Kyrie, on point, taking this one. Turtles lane brought to you by the STB. You boys are right. They're gonna try to overload the Queen, and just because of their sheer mechanics and the damage they're putting on so early, 3 minutes in, they're ahead now by 1K. Let's look at the items.
Oh, it's just building up now, and Marky getting the Enchanted Talisman before the 3-minute mark. That is crazy. And to think that he didn't even have the mystery shop. This is such a good scaling hero. Even when it's a mage, it will put up some damage in the late game. Great wave clear, and with Enchanted Talisman, he's gonna just spam out all of his skills up top, make sure that Oheb will not have a good time in the early stages of the game.
The thing is, right now, I feel like, Onyx, yes, you said it, overloading the Queen, but they're not just overloading the Queen, they're overloading every single member from the side of Blacklist except for Haji. Wise having trouble in that jungle. Venus going everywhere on the map, forcing something, and even in the 2v1, it's gonna be Marky winning out in these trades. This is not good for the side of Blacklist, but again, it is that 7-minute mark that is all about that ultimate bonding experience, all right? When Blacklist gets that power spike, that's when they start to roll again. But they need to be able to stay consistent in the early stages. It won't matter that 7 minutes, yes, it's a power spike, but if Onyx Philippines can just get the huge lead, it won't go to Blacklist at all.
Maloyski got them Spirit Blooms. He's lethal. He feels it. Going cut back through the jungle. Haji. It's interesting how much Onyx PH has rotated and how every time Blacks International might have been a second or two too late, which resulted in this small lead. 20 seconds to the next turtle. Edward getting pinned here by Dilarski and Kyrie falling Star Moon onto that wave. This is a very low kill score game compared to a lot of what we've seen in the playoffs. Right now, look at this. 3 onto Edward. He's looking for refuge. Oh, he's gonna let go of this turret down here. Oh, up top! Marky gets blasted by Haji, maximum range. He's fine.
He's fine. He was able to clear the waves as well, but oh my Venus will go for the reset.
This is the Onyx Philippines special. The Banana Split once again coming into game number 1. Look at how they're playing the map. They have all these winning lanes. It's going to be hard. Even though Blacklist goes up, Marky, that is why they picked up the Lilia instead of the Lunox. So powerful.
Yep, they didn't need the spike. Here we go. Second turtle up already. Edward putting a few stacks onto the 3 members here. Kyrie dashing on through the wall. He's just moving around. There's a better airstrike. Still Kyrie on point. Getting the second turtle of the game while Hatred puts up a lead wall.
Did you see how Kyrie just danced through it, just used the reset, the factor coming out from both the puncture as well as the Phantom Execution, even using the Thorn Rose as an iframe source so that you will not be hit by some of the skill shots of Blacklist International. It's amazing to watch, and they also secured the turtle for that, and Onyx PH really just taking over the map in the first 5 minutes of the game.
That's why they call them the future, man. Onyx Philippines right now, just forcing their gameplay onto Blacklist. 2 more minutes, technically 1 more minute right now to that power spike for the ultimate bonding experience. But at this point, I don't feel like they're going to be able to do anything with that. Onyx Philippines, they can just continually, you know, basically stop the fights from happening based on the pressure they have on the side lanes.
Slowly, something tells me Blacklist may have found the Achilles heel. Maybe by attacking mid, they can actually bear down onto Hatred, but might not be as easy a plan because of how much bottom lane was opened up by Dilarski. But look, there's movements up here. They're waiting. Oh, my Venus finds Marky. Circle Eagle. By Maloyski. They let go underneath the turret. They're pinning down Oeb and White Venus. Look at Kyrie from the back. Gets stunned by the Holy Baptism. Forward flicker by Hatred. Takes down
numbers. Blacklist, they're struggling to keep up in the objective side of the game. On the Philippines, yes, 3-1. The kill board isn't that much, but look at the turrets. 2 turrets, 2 turtles. This is why Onyx Philippines have been able to dominate that gold lane. The pure control of the objectives in the game.
And it's crazy to you're really dancing with them. Yeah, it's crazy to think that Onyx Philippines, after getting a kill up top, they put both Hatred as well as Maloyski back to the mid lane because there was a fresh kill of that and they defended.
Oh wait, Marky may have bitten off more than he could chew. Edward with the flicker forward Ionic Edge. Hatred punishes him almost immediately, circling Eagle onto Oheb. Not enough damage, brings it down. Kyrie puncturing on through. He's slashing, he's dashing, kills him with the Phantom Execution. Down goes.
On the bottom side, Wise picks up a kill and they are getting some kills on the board. But again, these turrets are going to be crucial. Look at the map. All the tier 1s taken down. Only a 2-kill lead for Onyx, but look at the gold. 2,000 already.
Oh my goodness. And looking at Onyx, win condition of shutting down OF. 0-4-1 on the Filipino sniper as Onyx Philippines have taken over this gold lane and might be looking to control this turtle as well.
Oh, charge out of the Soul Blooms. There's the Phantom Execution still kept in check by Kyrie. It's off of cooldown. They'll put up a wall here. Real damage! Marky does not want to bite off more than he could chew. They're blasting Edward. All 3.
They poked Oh My Venus, and that's great, right? Because Onyx Philippines, if they poke Blacklist International, they had to go back. And then afterwards, Marky eventually gets there, again forcing skills out of Oh My Venus. That flicker as well. The Holy Baptism, not available in a turtle fight, meant that it's free for Onyx PH.
But look at that. He didn't go for the, he went for the OR axe. Very, very interesting build coming in for Kyrie. That is a snowballing build. He wants to keep it rolling. He wants the kills to keep on coming.
He wants to make like their mascot. He wants to go fast.
Well, wants to go. It might be that he is rushing.
Gets caught. Kyrie stunned. Maybe a little too much. Phantom Execution. Iframe.
Last time I saw the Hunter Stark was, correct me if I'm wrong, Albert actually played it, Mirko, and
he played that on Paquito though.
That is, of course, that's one of the builds. But yeah, I did see the Hunter. They're on track for the snowballs, in fact, yeah. But this lead, 2.6k, they should not be comfortable with this because if you're looking at Blacklist International, there's decent.
Mountain Shocker set up. Blacklist International aware of everyone, and that's going to be Wise. Putting a few beads onto Baloyski up top. Edward getting blasted by Hatred.
Yeah, again, Onyx Philippines is so good at splitting up the map, but at this point, look, they are stopping their game. Blacklist, even though you're looking at the kills, yes, it is still favoring Onyx Philippines. They are still the ones with map pressure. When turrets get taken down, a lot of teams struggle to get the tier 2s because of how good Blacklist International basically manipulate these waves, go for the team. When the opposing team can just push in your jungle, but Blacklist, they know how to do this. They know how to open up the map very, very well, and this is exactly what you're seeing from them.
Well, just make sure Onyx PH don't give up your mid lane turret. That's having their focus, and just Kyrie just baiting through Blacklist International. But then again, it still is very difficult for Onyx PH to kind of push, because if you're looking at their composition, only Hatred can actually hit turrets. Apart from that, they need to go melee against all these turrets.
Baloyski enters a lethal death push, gets caught by a whole. His Phantom execution blasts Wise. Haji answers back with a feathered airstrike, taking one out on the way. Oheb trading out via Baloyski 1-for-1 so far. Both teams disengaged.
That's going to be very worth it for the side of Onyx PH. They got the jungler for the roamer, and one thing I want all they need to do is target Wise, all right? Wise is the only one with kills on the board. It's time to take a look at the replay and look at what they do. Exactly that, targeting only Wise in these team fights.
You gotta have to look at Haji, the way he used the flicker to get out of the zone of Kyrie, and then Kyrie also trying to outplay Haji with the Thorn Rose. Mechanics from, former, I would say, the rivals in the jungler role.
Man, again, you see from the kills, 5 total kills for Blacklist, 3 of them picked up by Wise, all right? So this is going to be the fact of the matter. Shot point.
I was about to bring that up. This whole time we left for what, 5 minutes now? I'm guessing his items must be in point, must have caught up, but Onyx PH, they have a different plan. They're starting up this Lord already. Edward trying to get a visual. Oh my Venus, poising up. This wall here, this bush is dangerous. In goes Marky, eats a few wolves. Look at this area from the back line. Why is taking down again? Baloyski traded out. Kyrie out Oheb, and that's going to be Edward flickering on out. They're not done. Oheb, he smells blood. He wants to take down Hatred, and they're far too deep in. They disengage.
Clashes as they really have mastered this Lord fight, and that is what we saw in their series against BTK. Interesting decision to actually go for heroes instead of focusing on the Lord after them starting the Lord themselves.
We need to talk about the win conditions coming in for both of the teams. Ability-based heroes. They are a one and done, all right? They're a hit and run composition, whereas look at their heroes, 2 marksmen and Farsa. These are continuous abilities, continuous basic attacks coming in, they always, you know? So Onyx, what they want to do is go for the hard, whereas Blacklist, they want to keep on fighting.
Haji's been just so good with this hero.
Oh, there we go. They're going to come in. They find one. Edward gets jumped on, circling Eagle. And the jump in by Delarski. That's going to be the passion. And the holy healing, saving the rest of Blacklist International. Edward's not done. He wants more. They know that they're going for the Lord. Both teams, they know that they have to do this very, very quickly. Edward putting a few stats onto the back. They take down Oheb. Kyrie for Onyx, Mountain Shocker making sure that it's safe to disengage. Kyrie still pressuring Edward, and it's a clean go. That's Blacklist back on the map, taking a mid lane tier 1.
Remember what I said, prolonged fights is gonna favor Blacklist International. Onyx PH, with this composition, they need to go for the hard lockdown. If not, Blacklist, look what they're able to do. They get 2 turrets off of a fight that was 1-for-1.
Amazing recovery coming up from Blacklist International, as they did lose an important hero, and that's Oheb. However, with just, the decision was really good, and they disengage against Onyx PH. Kills coming out from Onyx PH, then fight again. And it really looked wonderful for Blacklist International. They want to go for top though.
Oh,
Okay.
Kyrie, just at the nick of time. Phantom execute. National, they've built up the confidence. I think they're ready. A very, very small goal lead, 800 you can say. That's Blacklist International starting up the Lord. Edward drawing a perimeter. The Enforcer, the muscle, keeping and taken down by Wise. That's a one-man advantage for the side of Blacklist. Haji popping the feathered airstrike. Marky, that's 1 for 1 so far. Hatred getting blasted here, and there's an Abir's Passion. Wise coming up for the re-engage. Wise secures the kill. It's a 1 for 3 so far, and they take the Lord.
Oh my god, Onyx Philippines, they were so disconnected in that, and was there for Algie was able to just run away and punish him for his transgressions, and Onyx PH have lost so Lord, meaning to say they now have map control.
This is the refined Blacklist that we were all talking about back in the BTK. Onyx Philippines for the first few minutes were the ones pushing their playstyle onto Blacklist, but they did not crack. They waited up until that Ube strat could work. It didn't work in the 7 minutes because the farming on the cross-map plays, and they are the ones pushing Onyx Philippines to play their way. They have no...
The rubber banding effect. Blacklist was rubber banding, and they were just waiting, and now this is their game to lose. And they're going to take that inhibitor down bottom. Look at the discipline. Catching one. Dilarski with the Holy Baptism. Mid's going to get taken down as well. Ohem takes it. The Filipino sniper. Pew, pew.
This is going to be insane right now. Look, the 2,000 goalie from... They're cracking in the base.
Look at this calculated assault. Wise coming in, threatening the passive tick onto Marky, and they're still here. They are not letting go. They know that there's ults on the side of Blacks International, and they give full respect. Mountain Shocker keeping him in place. They might try to... He's low, down to a third of his health. Circling Eagle by Bolonski into the back line. He's going to get punished.
Kyrie.
Strike. Wise goes down. Two go down, 1 for 1 so far, and Dilarski jumping on. That's going to be another one taken down. Haji from Boloyski, and it's Boloyski. He's still going to go down. The Filipino sniper gets ahead. Marky pops the black shoes. He's okay. 3 on.
Ending in that back line, and look how this fight is going to go again.
Oh, they're still going. Holy Baptism catches Dilarski, and he's still dancing around, giving him shields and taking down the Queen. Popping the immortality. Edward and OM may have overstayed their welcome. They disengage. There's a heal from Edward. He's still pushing his luck. He's still going. Dilarski gonna dance.
Have on our hands. Look at the scoreboard. Dead even, 13 to 14. 2,000 gold lead though for the side of Blacklist. Get that back line. It's very easy to say. It's very hard to do considering the front line and the peel from the side of Blacklist. Look at the items right now. What can you see?
Mostly picked up Wind of Nature for both. As we can see that Kyrie really would like to go for Wise all the time.
Goes in, circling Eagle on to Wise. A false engage. Dilarski goes back with the Falling Star Moon.
Just waiting for farm onto the other side of the map, but Blacklist International, they do have the advantage of all of the minions just pressing against Onyx PH without...
It's basically constantly going to be pushing in with those super minions activated from those inhibitors, as now Lord spawns by TikTok Live. How are they going to contest for this? Blacklist, maybe even some miracle plays to be able to make that happen.
Miracle plays. We'll see if Onyx PH is known for that, but Blacklist International, there's...
This odd entry by Edward, but they're not going to let that happen, not so easily. Mountain Shocker, you always have to remember, Blacks International has that one tool to know exactly where everyone is, so the wraparound, that isolated catch, not so easy.
Again, Onyx Philippines forcing these out, you know, like you said, this is what they do, and literally right now, 20 minutes in, they need to keep on forcing this because look at the build-ups in the waves. From the bottom side, Marky, oh my god.
Marky, Mountain Shocker, everything is a threat here right now. The range as they take the Lord in the blink of an eye. Onyx, no time to respond. Dilarski gets the Immortality Bomb. Circling Eagle by Boloyski, keeping Edward in check. Down goes the Esmeralda. Wise takes the kill. And right now, even Hatred suffers a death. Down goes the Beatrix. The Filipino sniper gets one. Kyrie falls as well. It's ourselves game number 1. Marky goes. Blacklist takes it 1-0.
Again, the Lord fight. I think that this game will go for either Haji or Edward. Edward was able to just make sure that Onyx PH is in check and they know where they are. They don't even need to pop the Mountain Shock or to know where the members of Onyx PH are. It's just this game. The way he uses his ultimate just to disrupt and maybe burst the squishy members of Onyx PH was just phenomenal.
It's the simple plays that come in for Blacklist International that really makes the difference here. You don't need flashy plays. All you need to do is stick to that textbook. They know they're what we had to do. First 5 minutes, never gonna go our way. If we try to force the tempo, we're gonna lose. Sure, I'll just keep on farming. Wise, he was disrupted so many times in the jungle. Posed, he wait for the time. When he got those item power spikes, you can see the level that he PH.
It's the Blacklist rubber band. They're scoring them the first victory in game number 1. Let's throw it over to our analysts, Gideon Q and LaFell.
Appreciate it as always, but back here at the analyst stand with the two smartest here once again. LaFell, we have to talk about this a little bit more because again, even though it is going to be an all Filipino finals, there still are mistakes being made here.
Yeah, but from the side of Onyx Philippines, they are a little bit faster because they are more focused on the early game tempo. However, moving later stages of the game, once we have 4 items, then it's time for Blacklist International to really control the map. And then speaking of mistakes, Onyx Philippines, there were a lot of engages that was actually countered by the side of Blacklist International, just being a little bit better in terms of timing on how they capitalize on the engagements coming in from Onyx.
But that's the thing, right, LaFell? When you have such a complicated overall draft where your win conditions are mainly to be playing for this early game, we see time and time again, it feels like Blacklist is able to kind of bring, hold them back. But what we cannot hold back, we can't stop talking about the Razer Hammerheads here. Guys, if you haven't heard about it, you gotta cop one for yourself because the Razer Hammerhead True Wireless are cutting-edge earbuds destined to dominate the sound stage. Designed to dazzle in a blaze of RGB glory, the Hammerhead is decked out with active noise-canceling 60 ms low-latency gaming mode for an audio experience never seen or heard before. Head on over to Razer.com to learn a little bit more about it and make sure you get your pair today. Now, coming back to this once more, simplification compared to overcomplicating things, I feel like generally it feels like on brand. Like everybody got their comfort picks for either side of the teams.
Not just comfort picks, but also how they play the game, because we have to remember that Onyx Philippines, they like to play the macro game. They like to move around the map. Where from the side of Blacklist, they like to move in together because they play the team fight game much better. And if we saw in terms of how they play in the highlights, look at how much damage they were able to juggle around together. And right now, again, we're gonna look